Right. Welcome everybody to our admin meeting for Tuesday, March 28th, the birthday of my oldest daughter. Sophie Grace is 27.
Roll call.
Yes, please. Any roll call?
Online, we have Emmy Bristow, Jackson Lee, Jason Henry, Juanita Vero, Kelly McGuire, Kyla Leonards, Melissa Fisher, Shane Stack, Violet Plummer, Martin Kitston, MCAT. 206, we have Commissioner Slotnick, Strohmeyer. We have Ann Hughes, Brian West, Alicia Beckholtz, Allison France, myself, Annie Cathy, and Cheryl Hartman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's an illustrious crew we have. All right, before we dive in, do we have any public comment on items not on the agenda? Okay, we will proceed to the consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda anyone would like to pull out and have a conversation on?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Goes to Juanita Vero.
Voice.
It was. I think I recognize that voice. All right.
I did not see that coming.
Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, on to action items. Our first action item is from Kelly McGuire.
Good morning. Sorry, my computer's getting a little bogged down. I'm waiting for it to catch up, and now I can see you again. This is a grant. Hi, Anne. This is a grant that we were just awarded for the Safety and Justice Challenge. So we've had this grant for a number of years. We applied for a sustainability grant as we end sort of the end of our, or near the end of our time with the MacArthur Foundation. So the sustainability grant is a little bit smaller than our past grants. It's $410,000 for 2 years, as opposed to it was $700,000 for 2 years prior. So we have had to shrink the program a little bit as we move towards fully sustaining that work. And that grant will fund jail diversion and racial justice work in the justice system. And it funds an Indigenous support specialist over at the Office of Public Defender. And it funds our Safety and Justice Challenge Coordinator, Chelsea Whitman, here at the county, along with a few other things. And so Chelsea is going to be working on facilitating a group called Partners for Reintegration, focuses on reentry into the community. She'll be working with criminal justice system stakeholders on case processing and on pretrial system improvements. So I'd be happy to answer any other questions about that grant program and the work that they'll be doing.
Hey, Kelly, oh, sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Oh, go for it, please.
I just had a quick question. So how much less did we receive this go around?
Oh, about $290,000 less over 2 years.
Over 2 years, okay. Do we
yeah.
have, is there any significant changes than we had to make to programs or efforts, or are we just trying to be lean and mean?
Yeah, so we did ask a few of our partners to transition things onto their budget. So that looks like we paid for a chemical dependency evaluator out of Western Montana Mental Health Center, and that will be just funded differently and more creatively in the future. Office of Public Defender hopefully will have some funds in their budget to help pay for it, but they can also bill Medicaid. So we're just being creative about that. And then the community supported reentry program, you will see a budget request for next fiscal year for general funds for 2 staff in that program. I think those are the 2 big things.
Okay, great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would move that we authorize the chair to sign the grant agreement.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Great work, Kelly. Thanks a lot. These are fantastic additions and continuations at Missoula County and our general concern on criminal justice reform.
Thanks.
All right, next up is Shane Stack.
All right, good morning, commissioners. So this item is for FLAP applications or Federal Lands Access Program applications. We have 4 projects. And the city actually, we had been partnering with the city on a 5th, and I think we're gonna have to sign that endorsement form as well. So hopefully that's not gonna be a problem. But let me run through all these projects. The first one is a shared use path on Blue Mountain Road that would extend a trail from US 93 to the trailhead on Blue Mountain. It's about 0.65 miles long, and roughly is going to cost around $800,000 to $900,000. One of the things on this project too, I guess to consider, we're still kind of mulling around the idea of throwing about $50,000 in match for right-of-way acquisition on this. So I guess keep that in mind. We'll approve signatures of these applications today, but this is the only one that I think we may have any kind of match on. Just keep that in mind as we move forward. Patty Canyon is just an overlay of Patty Canyon Road from the Missoula County boundary to the top of the hill there on Patty Canyon, or the end of the paved road. That project we have it estimated around $3.5 million. And then Cold Creek is a bridge replacement in the Condon area on Cold Creek Road. We're looking at probably $4 to $5 million plus or minus on that one as far as cost. And then 6 Mile Road is an overlay from the Huson interchange, basically to the end of pavement, and it actually kind of extends into 9 Mile Road just a little bit. But there's also a slide repair that would be included in that project. That one's around 3 miles long, and it costs, the estimated cost is around 3.8 to 4 million. So those are the 4 projects that we'll be submitting for. And again, the city is going to apply for post siting, but because we maintain and own a portion of that road, we have to sign the endorsement. So I'm asking to include that as part of the signatures. These applications are all due on Friday, and the applications are pretty much ready to go. They've been submitted to the federal land manager. In this case, all 4 of our projects are the National Forest Service, 3 projects here in the Lolo, and then 1 up in the Flathead. Just waiting on signatures from them. Once we get those, Josh, we're going to get those over to you for signatures.
Great. So Shane, let me try out my understanding here, and you can correct me for accuracy. One new development here is that for a FLAP, there's no required match.
Correct.
Which is really fantastic. Typically, these things would cost us millions of dollars as well, but there is no match. And if I understand it right, the match that we may end up providing on Blue Mountain Road, is that because the FLAP program wouldn't cover the cost of acquiring right-of-way?
That's reading the application. It says, how is the applicant going to acquire the right of way? So I can't really tell if we're supposed to include the funding on that, or if it's, if we use their funding to apply. But I did talk to Juniper and Jackson, and they're fine with using the trail bond funding for that acquisition if we need to.
Great. Thank you.
I
Okay.
move, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for doing all the work putting these FLAP proposals together, Shane.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
Okay, we have 4 pieces of correspondence. Shane's going to talk about our first one. This is Post Siding Road.
This is a good segue. We just need letters of support for the 5 projects that I described earlier. And that's, same projects, just need letters of support.
We can do that.
Awesome.
The royal we. Awesome.
Thanks, Allison.
All
And
right.
when do we expect to hear back? Like whether we're
Um,
successful or not?
I think it was gonna be August, September, if I remember right.
And it's a really competitive process, isn't it?
Yeah, there's 30 some, I think, I want to say it was like 30, 31 million. And then you have all 56 counties that are probably, well, not every county has federal lands. So it's, all the counties that have federal lands that are going to be applying for these funds. So.
All right. So Jackson, you got the next one.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. Another good segue. We've been working with Shane Stack on this request, which is for transportation alternatives letters of support, and we're looking at 3 projects. TA, Transportation Alternatives Funding, these projects run through MDT. We have other projects we're in conversations with the MPO, but for the MDT funding, we're looking at the Bitterroot Trail, doing pavement preservation. An upside of this project is there's no local match required. It's an MDT route, and it was constructed with federal funding, so it's eligible for state match. That project our request is upwards of $600,000 for Buckhouse Bridge to the county line with River Valley to do crack fill and seal coat and just extend the useful life of the Bitterroot Trail. We've also been talking with River Valley County, and they'll be submitting an application as well for continuation of that. So the hope is to do system-wide pavement preservation on the Bitterroot Trail this cycle. And then the other 2 projects on that list are capital projects. The first being an extension of the Mullen Road Trail from Deschamps to Cody Lane, and the second being an extension of the Frenchtown Trail west to Hoole Creek Road. Both of those projects we committed Trails Bond funding to design and engineering for. So within that application packet, we're including those 30% designs, and we think that gives us some upside in terms of competitiveness of those applications. Those are our 3 projects. There is a local match required on those capital projects, so pending award, we'd be coming back for a request for Trails Bond funding. The match requirement is 13.42%. And the deadline is quickly approaching, April 12th.
This is what the Trails Bond is for. Trails. So Jackson, just wanted to be clear that that TA funding is federal money that gets run through MDT.
That's right, Josh. Yep.
Any thoughts on this?
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, Jackson.
And I think I have the next as
I
well.
bet when I saw Clinton Skate Park, I think about you. So.
Yeah, this one is a letter of support request for T-Mobile's Hometown Grant Program. T-Mobile's doing a 5-year initiative. I think it's $1 million each year specifically to rural communities for revitalization efforts. And we have just recently completed the reuse plan at Clinton Community Park. So we think it's a really good fit for this grant program. We're requesting $50,000 of funding. There's no local match, but we will be referencing the $20,000 award from Parks and Trails matching grants that was recently put to the Clinton Skate Park. And award decisions are expected by May. The application deadline is Friday.
Great.
Exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Mountain Line letter.
You guys already signed that. I had emailed you on it. It's one that we already did, and it was just a letter of support for the new
Yeah, it's for a grant they're applying for
Okay.
their new facility.
Great.
for their
Yeah.
new facilities.
They get the grant.
Yes.
And anything you want to share in the legislature?
They moved transmittal for revenue and appropriations bills from Monday to Tuesday. Giving them a little bit more time to
Wreak havoc.
bills from one chamber to the other.
The volume is so big. Isn't
The
it?
volume is, yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. We're doing our best.
I'm sure you are.
Keep up.
Great. Thank you. All right, does anybody else have anything else? Then we are done for admin on March 28th. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.